Hello, everyone. Welcome to Game Over Cancer Fall 2023. Hope everyone's ready for a good week of games, runners, and, of course, supporting the Canadian Cancer Society. We're all ready to go already with our first run, so I'm going to throw it off right away. Here is NescapePlan, and he's going to be doing Prison City.
Alright, hello. So I am NescapePlan. I will be running Prison City today. It's a independent game, mostly developed by Programmancer. And on commentary, I have Programmancer.
Hello, everybody.
Alright, so do you have any intro thing you want to say about the game at the moment, or do you want me to just kind of get started here?
Well, I can say that Prison City is out now on Steam and Epic. It's coming to consoles next month on the 16th, so a month from today. If anybody wants to check it out after the run.
Alright, yeah, it'll be sweet when it's out on a whole bunch of other consoles, which is coming pretty soon. Like a couple months from now, right?
Actually, on the 16th of next month, so coming up here soon.
Oh wow, just 1 month away. Nice. Alright, well, I will get things started here. So we have the timer that will begin at once we do start game. So I'll be doing it on like 3, 2, 1, and going. Oh, and so this is the modern difficulty and 100% category where I get all the upgrades. Still there, Programmancer?
Yep, sorry, I was having some technical issues.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I think this is my first time seeing this train level ran without the little, like, tips that pop up.
Alright, so I guess I'll say a little bit something about the game at the moment then. So what I did was I collected all 3 power-ups, so then I can have a transformed chakram, so I can do double the damage.
And those come in handy quite a bit, because they'll just eat through boss health. So there's 3 on every level, except for a couple of them.
Oh yeah. All the stages have them, but some are more along the way. Others, there's like branching paths in a lot of stages. So sometimes it's not always the best in terms of speed to get them all.
And one thing with the most recent update, on easy mode, you can just farm them from the mini games as well, right from the level select.
There's a fair amount of differences between the different difficulties, if you want to go over some of those differences.
Yeah, so on easy mode, you respawn from pits, you take considerably less damage, and you can destroy a lot of enemies that you normally can't destroy on modern and classic. Modern mode, it's more balanced, kind of suited more for current audiences. You respawn from pits still, which was an addition that I added a couple of patches ago. And then on classic difficulty, it's like straight up NES hard, so enemies will take a lot more hits, you die if you fall into a pit, and it's really challenging. You have a lot less lives too, so you gotta really be careful on your movements.
Oh yeah. There's also the weapon meter, which matters quite a bit more in classic difficulty. In easy, you don't have to worry about it much at all. In modern, you have to worry about it a little bit. More like rhythmic tapping rather than straight up mashing.
To start getting the weapon energy power-ups to increase that bar, so that way you can just spam a little more.
Yep, so I will begin all of those. This is the 100% category, so I'll begin our first permanent upgrade right down here.
So this level is kind of an interesting choice for a first level to go to, and I would assume it's probably because it's a lot more RNG heavy on the boss.
Yeah, that definitely is a big factor in the decision there. A lot of our routing is also based on how many power-ups we end a previous stage with usually, how easy it is reflected on the stage we're going into. So yeah, that's usually what factors in the decision. There's a couple stages where we do not want to start with full power-ups, and some stages where we do. So we take a lot of intentional damage in like Factory and Power Plant, for instance, so you don't want to start with all three. That's another mechanic in this game is when you have 3 power-ups at the end of a stage, you get to carry it over to the next one. But then if you get hit 3 times, you lose the power-up, and you have to collect 3 more. It's constantly managing the resources.
If you only have 2, for example, and you don't have the upgraded chakram, you can carry that over, and you don't have to risk losing it by taking damage or anything. So it's kind of nice to store that up and save it for when you need it.
Yep.
Yeah, routing on this is interesting to see just everybody's take on what paths to take based on the upgrades.
Right. It definitely has been something that has changed quite a bit as more of us have been running this game. Just figuring out like which stage to go first and how to get everything lined up together so it all works together the way we want.
When you play and point out things, it's easy to adjust things around to make sure it's a little more run-friendly as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially just watching random people play it as well on Twitch. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to adjust this a little bit.
Right. Yeah, and you've been very receptive to all sorts of feedback on it. You've even made some adjustments, so it's been really nice. Like that boss there already had an adjustment.
Oh yeah, the grenade hit, which definitely helps quite a bit.
I was supposed to take a damage in that stage, because Power Plant I take a lot of damage. So what I did there was I intentionally took a damage to go down to 2 symbols, just so I don't have to worry about it, and went back in the stage.
Yeah, and this level we internally we called it the Quick Man stage for this game, just because it's a lot more difficult than the other one. Not one that most people would want to start first.
Oh yeah, yeah, because the section coming up here where I will be taking a lot of damage, very scary part in the run. Be down to like 1 or 2 health in just a moment here. The intended path, you would hit a switch in the far bottom left to disable the electrical field up here. But we're trying to go fast here, so you'll be taking a lot of damage. Oh, 1 health.
And so I just saw that nice coyote slide jump into over that fence at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Yep. Just small little things, we try to fit those in whenever we can. Saves a little bit of time.
I'm actually really curious, I'm still not to the part where you take the split, either top or bottom, but I'm really curious to see which one you take.
Yes. I have chosen the top route. Uh-oh. A lot of damage. Alright, well, guess I will not have power up for the boss anymore. That's okay.
I think this level was probably one of my favorites to make, just because of the switch mechanic.
Yeah, I do like that. Like, a lot of the stages have their own little flavor to them, and a little unique experience going through some of these stages. again, that power up at this point, down to 0.
I'm assuming this is the version where I fix the ability to attack that crate and get the shield power up on your way down.
Exactly, and that's exactly where I'm going right now.
Perfect.
Great fixes. I was very confused when I first saw that, so... Oh, yeah, that was a weird bug.
Yeah, it's just stuff despawns if you're off screen, especially pickups and whatnot, so I never really thought about a use case where you would be falling and trying to attack something below you. So it never really came up until you mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Right. So we're on the boss that a friend of mine told me it seems like it's kind of based off Blaster Master, but it could be a multitude of different bosses, like a Batman boss with cubes, Mega Man boss with cubes. There's a Blaster Master one that my friend thought it was most similar to.
Yeah, actually the Blaster Master boss is exactly the inspiration. I never really played a whole lot of Batman NES. I know everybody says that the little rolling spike dudes is from that, but it's like, I mean, it's kind of a Mega Man enemy, and I just thought spikes were, you know, the most dangerous thing to jump over. But yeah, this boss is 100% from Blaster Master. Just the sleeping nodes that wake up and move and fire at you and stuff. So it's a little bit of a change to that.
Now we will be going to the auto-scrolling level, the freeway. This one seems to be based off the movie Mad Max. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, you could say the boss name itself being a big part of it.
Oh yeah. Where you hop on that little like jet ski. I was like, it'd be really cool to have just an auto-scroller segment in this, since a lot of it's exploration-based and all the levels are mostly non-linear. It'd be cool to have like a little linear segment.
Yeah, I like it for the variety. Kind of reminds me of Mega Man X2 has some stages like this where you're, I mean, a little bit more difficult on the platforming for that one.
You folks have time for a donation.
Yes, this is a great time for donations.
All right, so we've gotten our first donation already from YHZ Mustache Man, donated $20, and they say when Mal was flying in for Game Over Cancer, he had a conversation with a mustached man about it. He told Mal that he was a survivor and had lost his wife to cancer a few years prior, and entrusted him with his donation. Thank you, sir, for your trust and support. And Mal also says that that donation can go to the runner's choice in terms of an incentive. So thank you very much for that donation, Mustache Man.
You're really close on your time in there. You can destroy the droid and make it on the left. We're going to be getting to the upgrade on this part here, where I'm going to do some pretty precise jumping. I'll get hit by all these pink buzz droid things. And then I will be intentionally taking a lot of damage here because we will be doing a death warp. Because the way that the checkpoint system in this game works, that just happens to be right next to the boss's front door.
Yep, and this level is specifically designed not to have little sub-checkpoints, just because it has the auto-scroller segment, and it's a little bit smaller on the exploration side, so I figured that would be a good way to get back to the boss.
Oh yeah. So I took an intentional death here, and I also have a grenade, which I haven't gotten to demonstrate, but I'll be using it on this boss, because there's two targets at the start of it. There's a gunner at the bottom, and then there's the main boss at the top. I just go ahead and use a grenade, take care of the gunner at the bottom, which can be a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that boss is really designed more around the power chakram just to be able to take out little ads that are attached to the vehicle.
Right. And I'm moving
But I
on.
do think being able to use the angle down button to aim like up left is pretty helpful for.
Oh yeah, that was a huge change that really helped out with the consistency for that. So at the start of Rooftops, we did something that I didn't realize was actually intentionally designed to be there, the bat skip. Want to tell a little history on designing kind of like intended shortcuts in this game or something like that?
Yeah, because this particular intro is kind of set up like the second room in Castlevania 1, like after you get into the castle. And there's a bat there, you just jump, take damage, and you can hop onto the ledge. So, you know, I'm going to kind of design around that and make a little damage boost that you can do. So anytime there's a little grenader on a ledge that shoots at you, you can usually just use his bullets to bounce onto the ledge.
That comes in very handy at a later stage as well, where we skipped a very large chunk of the stage doing that.
And speaking of Castlevania references, the contact in this level is a reference to my other game that's a parody of Castlevania.
Oh yeah.
So it all kind of goes full circle.
Yep. Scary room if you don't have a grenade for it. The upgrade room there, there's just a lot of gunners and not sure what you call a lot of these enemies. Some flying gunner thing and some enemy that splits out into like 8 little things.
Yeah, the little, they're float tanks and then security eyes.
Coming out to the helicopter boss here. There is a way to do it in one cycle, but need to have a grenade for it. But I should be able to do it in 1.5 to 2 cycles. Oh, so close. Close. Almost did in one. It is possible, though. Very difficult.
Yeah, I think most bosses, with the exception of some of the more RNG heavy ones, can be done in one cycle. With the exception of, like, you know, the the voltaic nodes from the factory, for example, that relies on a lot of little ads to activate.
Right. And later on in the first headquarters stage, there's a boss that a whole bunch of phases to it. That one will take a little bit.
Yeah, those ones are all the like damage amount based, so he hits different phases depending on how much damage you take on him.
Got some very good luck in the factory. A lot of times I take a lot of damage here, but I ended up getting 2 shields. Very happily lucky there.
Yeah, I think Factory is a level that I designed intentionally to where you can do it very quickly because of the little skip in the first vertical shaft, and then just loop around to the other side to get to the boss. With a shield, it's super easy.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now I'm coming up to a part that gotta wait for just the right position type of barrel. Well, the right size. It has to be an orange barrel of some sort, so it's high enough so you can grab the ladder up there. Will take us to the next upgrade, where Hal gets a little bit of a workout on the treadmill there to get these platforms moving.
Yeah, those platforms are actually why I made the bomb mode quest, or the second quest, I should say. because I felt like I underused the mechanic, and I made it and I really liked it, but the level was just about done when I had edited it in, so I was like, I'm gonna just make all these levels again with different mechanics.
Okay, yeah, I was curious the history of Bomber Mode. Like, I was wondering if maybe the game originally was going to be like Bomber Mode in every stage and you took it out, or what it was, but it sounds like it was something you added after the fact. Just to give people something to do for replayability or something?
Yeah, a lot of it too was just, when you're designing levels and stuff, you just kind of stick to a pattern, and you try to like build around these different gimmicks that you build for each level. But I found myself wanting to add more, and the levels were just already too full. So I figured, why not just give it a second round and do little things that I had wanted to do that I didn't.
Right. Okay, so there was a bunch of bonus levels in the game. 4 different stages have them. Like that, the one I just skipped there was influenced by a very classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stage, the Dam stage. I thought it was very fitting because I'm, well, in some later stages, arming bombs and all that.
Because like Hal's too heavy to swim, so he has to like jump up to him and kind of like float up to him.
Did you ever think about, so, like Shatterhand, depending on what symbols you get like a different type of power-up. Did you originally consider something like that, but you just wanted kind of like simplicity?
I did originally have a plan to have just different settings for the weapon upgrade, but I didn't want to overcomplicate it. But I had thought of a different, like maybe a shop mechanic or something along those lines, but it was just getting too bloated by the time I considered doing it. I was like, I have to really keep the scope back. But yeah, there were a couple different ideas for upgrades. I had a little those little scrappy broken robot enemies that spawn from the factory's little crate spawners. That was originally going to be a thing that you could spawn that would help you, but that was a little too Shatterhand-like. So.
And we're going into the sewer boss. This one most reminds me of Bubble Man, but I'm not sure what your design influence on this boss was.
I kind of went with like a Turtles, a TMNT NES type thing, where the boss just kind of runs back and forth and does his thing.
Oh, I can see that now, yeah.
The first Chief fight does this, but this one's like really heavily based on just running back and forth and doing his own thing.
And then moving on to the preserve stage, where I'm also not sure if there was a specific influence for this boss or not, the Drosera.
Kind of just an H.R. Giger thing. I really wanted to design like a weird, messed up, like plant woman.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted like a weird mechanical, like a biomechanical type setup. But I think that's actually one of the only bosses in the game that I don't have like a direct influence from another game, like inspiring the design or like the movements or anything.
I do like in the preserve, we meet our dolphin friend here. There's the HDI, Human Dolphin Interface.
Yeah, it turns out dolphins are really good at giving you intel if you can speak to them.
Yeah, there's a couple little Easter eggs in the game involving the dolphins. A fun little thing to have in the game. Like I accidentally got one where I was just doing a stage and suddenly dolphin appeared. I'm like, what's going on here? Didn't even know how I did it at first.
Yep, a little bit of a Mega Man 2 type Easter egg where you hit A and B when you enter the level, and it does something a little special as long as you've beaten this level.
Yeah, I like that idea. Like that came in later Mega Man entries, like the Mega Man X series, where if you defeat a certain level before another level, then it unlocks different pathways and stuff. Nothing quite that complicated here, but you can get a dolphin. Replaces the motorbike.
There's some other subtle changes as well, specifically with the freeway. If you don't beat the rooftops level, for example, you'll see the Hind D floating around in the background of that level.
Oh, okay. Notice that one. Oh, there's a little wind and rain physics there.
Seeing it done.
It must be interesting if this is your first time seeing someone speedrun a game that you've worked really hard on.
Yeah, it's pretty wild seeing these levels done this way.
Right, because a lot of it probably is not quite intended to be done some of the ways that it's done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a big fan of leaving the option there to just break the game if needed, but make sure that people are kind of funneled where they need to be if they're playing it the first time. But it's always nice seeing, like, because I mean, I have to play the game 1,000 times, so I have my own routes and my own things that I do. It's really nice seeing, like, a more optimized version of what I'm already doing.
Right. You have a history with speedrunning in any games? Because I noticed you mentioned, like, Castlevania 1, you're familiar with, like, the bat skip and things like that. So I was curious if you also have any history with speedrunning games.
Not really. I mean, I did a little Super Metroid back in the day, but nothing competitive and nothing really amazing, but...
Metroid's a great one for it just because of all the different ways you can do things. Well, not quite as intended, but the options just kind of open, and people have gone pretty crazy with what you can do in that game.
Just do everything that way. Yeah, with anytime I design a game, I like the idea of leaving things in that may break the game if you do it in good ways or bad ways, I don't know. But if you can't do it accidentally and you can't do it casually, like you have to put effort behind it, I want to leave it because it could be useful.
I really like that. Like in the stadium level here, there's a few things where maybe at first glance you didn't notice them. You can like break some of the ceilings, some of the floors, just different ways that you can open up pathways. And these linebacker guys usually take a lot of shots, but can also just slide through them, which is a cute touch, kind of like you're tackling them.
Yeah, they're very top-heavy. One of my favorite things to do with the footballers is to trip them into other enemies, because they'll just start bouncing and dealing damage to them as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I'm sure I've done that just accidentally, but didn't even think about it. This is a stage that's a pretty good introduction to all the things you can do with sliding. Slide through enemies, slide through little tiny hallways and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think, this is the first level that I really designed kind of around different sliding mechanics. Especially that upper path that leads you to the top of the stadium. I really wanted something that felt a little more like, kind of like a classic Mega Man game, where you have like your little sliding segments and there's enemies that that attack through it, and you have to slide past and all this other stuff. So it was a really good opportunity to just take advantage of those sliding mechanics.
Accidentally took a hit, so I got the kind of slow power up there, where you have to break down a car Street Fighter style. For a long time I was unable to find that power up in the stage, didn't realize I had to go and break down the car to do it, because it takes quite a bit of hits.
Behind a car. Shots before he appears.
And I like how there's a very light story in this game. I mean, for a speedrun, we're skipping all the dialogue, but it's like enough where it's not fully taking itself seriously. Like, there's a lot of little jokey things going on. It just makes kind of like an enjoyable, quick read. So there's some people that would like, always skip all the dialogue and all that, but this one's got like, nothing that's overstaying its welcome or anything like that. It's very much getting to the point, and people can just enjoy the game itself too.
Just a lot of how, like, growing up, I used to hate games that just talk too much. I wanted to get into the action. So I made sure it was done in such a way that if people want to dive into different story elements, they can do that. They can read everything. But if not, the basic story is you have to go into Prison City and do stuff.
Yep.
Do you folks have time for a donation right now?
There's a very important point coming up in a second, but we can get donations right after that. So there's a very big skip coming up. Let's see if I can get it. Alright, so this one, like we talked about earlier, there's bullets that you can use for damage boosting, and we will be using it up here. We have to do a slide jump off the corner, and I missed the first try, but we'll keep trying it. I will keep going until I get it. There we go. Alright, yes, now we can go ahead and just take a donation or two.
Perfect. So we did get another $10 US from Eternal Red Gamer, who says, "Ah, yeah, the runs are here. Good luck to all the runners this week." Thank you very much for that, Eternal Red Gamer. Let us know what you'd like if you'd like your money to go towards an incentive, ! I in the chat, for you to be able to see that. And anybody who'd like to donate, ! D in the chat.
Now we are on the Elevator boss. Great name. Was this based off any thing in mind?
I realized playing through the game before I got to these parts, I didn't have an elevator segment, and I really wanted an elevator segment, and it kind of made sense to me to put a boss on there. I thought it'd be kind of cool.
From what I've heard from other players,
kind of based on the Matrix.
Oh, did you say it was based off the Matrix?
Yeah, the little the squids.
Heard from a bunch of players, this is like their favorite boss fight in the game. Just a very dynamic fight, a lot of different phases, a lot of different things can happen. You get to mess around with like floating physics.
And just the idea of like a free-falling elevator was really fun to work on.
Usually I would have been fully powered up going into that, but I took too much accidental damage. Now we're moving on to the longest stage in the game by quite a bit. This is where you sort of get an introduction to bomber mode, essentially. This one took a long time to go and figure out good routing for, and we're still not sure if this is the best way through it, but this is the fastest way that we have found so far.
Yeah, I think your route's pretty similar to mine. from what I've seen in the past. I'm still not quite to that point yet on the stream, but
Right. That'll make things a little awkward. I have it mapped out pretty good for when my shield runs out. I will have to improvise quite where I want it. Oh boy. Oh no, I took a death. That's alright. Very difficult to improvise on that part of it. Forgot that bottom one didn't even deactivate.
yeah, this level can be pretty brutal. I've hidden quite a few lives everywhere just for casual players, and even added a special Castlevania-style infinite lives thing, but
Yeah, I remember when I first was playing through this level, I was dying all the time and constantly collecting the 1-ups just so I didn't have to reset all my bombs that were armed.
yeah. Yeah, this is the kind of level that, like, it almost needs like a pencil and paper mapping it out, figuring out routes and stuff.
Right.
I could see myself in the early 90s just like drawing this thing out and figuring it out.
I did very similar. So we have a Discord for this game, and I've just taken screenshots of the map and just drawn all over it using MS Paint, and had multiple different versions for this stage. I think there's like 4 or 5 different maps that are laid out right now.
The other thing with this level too is I wanted to opt out of doing like boss refights, but I figured doing like a greatest hits of the level mechanics would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I do like that twist on it. That was kind of cool. It's like, instead of boss refight, it's almost like stage refights. You got a little fire section, a little ice section, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, just kind of mix it up a little bit, because I think everybody expects there to be boss refights in this sort of a game, and it's like, hey, I don't know about that for this, but
There's a way to quickly fall down there without getting hit almost at all, but usually I get hit a couple times. It's pretty difficult. And I like how the name that I saw you use for these big droids is the toilet tank droids. I didn't think about that until you said it, because it's on their back.
yeah, from conception to design, they were big toilets.
And there's the little voltaic nodes down here. Kind of a callback to
the classic
those.
trope of early bosses are now enemies.
Oh yeah, yep. We'll also be running into the very first boss, the train, in a moment. Now we're going to the ice section, where there's a plow auto-scroller, which in the first stage of it, you're able to skip the ice plow with a good timed slide jump, or coyote jump as you've been calling it. This one, gotta make it through. As far as we know. No way to skip this that we know of yet. There's a trap weapon power-up down there. It is possible to get if you make like no mistakes. If you have any slow slip-ups in movement, you probably will just get squashed by the plow trying to go for that one. This is the only stage with 4 powers.
I actually made the segment lenient too, but the best way to get that one is if you're down to, like, if you're fully powered up, but you've lost one, you can use the fully powered up chakram to cut through the walls and then pick it up. But only on easy and modern difficulty.
Right. yeah, that's another difference in Classic is you don't have the magnetic property where you can just reel it in.
2 is all the difficulty is completely customizable. I don't think I touched on that before when I was talking about the difficulty, but you can go through and you can make it to where you deal 100 damage, well, I guess that's 10 damage, and you take 0 damage. You can also change your invulnerability frames, certain behaviors of enemies, and level layouts, and all sorts of stuff.
So it's the turret from the intro stage. We intentionally take damage on it because you can use the invulnerability frames to get behind it where there's a bomb right behind it. Something I accidentally figured out when I had a shield in that area and I just started running through it and I just made it through it. I'm like, oh, I don't have to even kill this turret.
Yep. Yeah, that entire, there's like that path with all the spikes on top too. I made that specifically so if you happen to have the shield power, you can just run along it.
Right, or on easy difficulty, you have a longer invulnerability period as well. You're talking about all the different options you can customize. On easy mode, by default, for that, lasts a long time.
A minute or something along those lines. It's quite a bit.
I like that this one you can jump up the ladders and jump down them. Pretty classic ways to go and take up a little bit of time. Climbing is usually a pretty slow thing to do in almost any game, so anything that we can do to be able to accelerate is always awesome.
The fences, you couldn't crawl across those. It was all jump based. It was set to like, my idea was do a little more like Shatterhand, make it where you can like grab onto stuff. But then Ryan with Retroware, he's like, why don't we make it to where it's like Mario and you can just like crawl around? So now I do a little bit of both. I'll like jump up a bunch of them and then crawl across.
Now we're coming up to a two-phase fight here with Chief Pain and then Maximum Pain, I believe is the second form.
Yeah.
And if you're fully powered up for the second phase, you can skip a whole nother phase of it. It just kind of works out with all the damage you can do with the essentially double damage, having the transform shotgun throughout. I like how there's like a video feed in the background that gives you little hints on what to do for each of the abilities, and in case you're getting stuck here, kind of gives you like a little hint on what to do. I didn't realize you had to slide into it.
And there are 2 ways to trip him, but I figured why not make it to where that shows up after a little bit of a delay, so that way, you know, if somebody doesn't get it.
Right. I still have not figured out the second way to trip him yet. I know you mentioned that, and I've asked all the other runners of this game, and we don't know what it is yet. Something to still be discovered.
It's pretty easy. It gave me an opportunity to do a little bit of additional storytelling with just the visuals. So all the contacts pop up, and it's like they're talking to you and helping you out. And then Dolphin's hacking the DCP.
Love the Dolphin references. Was it Dolphin chose for any specific purpose?
So Johnny Mnemonic is really cool. So we were like, why don't we do like a Dolphin parody?
Now we got the escape sequence here. Reminds me of like a Mega Man minus Infinity. It's a ROM hack where the last stage of it is an escape sequence. I guess it's also like in Resident Evil and stuff like that.
Yeah, originally I wanted to do kind of like a full Metroid type thing, and I had a timer that would go up. And it's like, yeah, I don't think this really needs a timer because it already feels pretty tense.
Right.
from Matt Creamer, the musician, and he like added in the alarm sound to the track. It's like, you know, this doesn't need a timer. People wanna play it, they're gonna get pumped.
Exactly. Yeah, I love the music that's done for this game. It's very well done.
Yeah, I think it's probably the first game that I've worked on where I've had the soundtrack stuck in my head like non-stop while I'm working on it.
What was the name of the person that did the music for this game again?
Matt Creamer. He owns Radland Studios. He also did music for Retro City Rampage and Shakedown Hawaii as well.
Now we're up to the final fight here, the Spirit of Detroit.
Right, just so everybody knows.
You can only do damage to him when you are fully powered up. So there's only that moment where you can like break open its I don't know, source of power, its chest, to be able to get the 3 symbols out which power you up. This fight takes a very long time to figure out the first time through. I really like that. I felt like it was a pretty good feeling to the end of the game of like, you made it this far, and then you gotta go and figure out how to deal with all these different attacks that come out at you.
Partially because I wanted to make just a hands boss. That seems like a very Nintendo thing. But also I wanted to roll in like an actual gameplay sense and story sense that you have a power chakram. So it was kind of neat to roll that into the mechanics of this fight.
Alright. There's 2 or 3 more phases of this here, depending on how I do. So the timer would stop on the last hit on the boss, so when it goes down to 0 HP. I like this kind of bullet hell type thing there. I like that influence.
The 2 who attack.
There we go. Alright, time.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty happy with how this turned out in a marathon run, because there are definitely some big mistakes throughout, but it's all good. We still got it under the 50-minute estimate by a good amount. Right now, 42 minutes, 28 seconds is the current record for this category, but there's also other categories like any percent and other difficulties as well. Yeah, it's a really cool game
to watch.
So, thank you for joining me on Commentary Programmancer. It was really nice hearing all your kind of design decisions and what went into this game.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun, especially just seeing somebody run the game optimally was really nice. And of course, like I said, if anybody wants to check out this game, it's out now on Steam and EGS. And then coming to consoles next month on the 16th.
Yep, only on Steam at the moment, but soon enough. About a month, it'll be on Switch and all the other consoles. Right now we have a pretty small speedrunning community for this, but if this game interests you, I mean, obviously go and check out the game anyways, but if you want to go and speedrun it, we do have a separate Discord for it, and we're all pretty small-knit group for it, but we share any of the stuff that we figure out. It's really interesting. It's the first game where I've just joined speedrunning of it right from the start, so we're always finding new strategies, and it's an exciting time for the game.
Who, if anybody needs to kind of be pointed in the right direction for how to break something, because I'm okay with that. I made sure a lot of stuff was breakable, so I welcome everybody to come and try and break it and beat it as quickly as possible.
Yep, he's been a great resource for questions I have where it would take me a very long time to go and test out some of the stuff myself. I can just ask him and he'll just dig into the code and figure out some of the details for me. I'm like, oh great, it saves me hours of trying to figure this out myself.
All right. Do we have anything else we'd like to add about this game before we move on to the next run?
I don't think so. Anything else, Bordermancer?
No, I think that's pretty much everything.
All right. Well, thank you very much for doing that run. The GGs we already saw going into the chat. Very nice run, underestimate, all that kind of stuff. It was also real cool to have the developer here talking about it at the same time. And that was, once again, Prison City, the modern 100% run. Stay tuned, everyone. We do have more runs coming up. In just a few moments, we'll have Pyle, who will be showing off Gimmick and going for the best ending. Stay tuned for that here in Game Over Cancer Fall 2023.